Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 73 of CO Sports Talk. I'm Casey, joined alongside Oliver Marvick today. And, it's a very late week episode due to the fact that I got back from Puerto Rico last night. However, we're still here. We're ready to fire. A lot's gone on. A lot of people consider right now the dog days of sports as the only American professional sport going on right now is the MLB. However, there's still a lot to unpack in the sports world.
Indeed, yeah. I've got one of the biggest tennis tournaments in the world, if not the biggest. MLB, like you mentioned, NBA free agency. So there is still stuff happening. So yeah, and let's get into it.
Yeah, the World Cup final would be on Sunday normally. However,
MLB All-Star stuff.
yeah, we're gonna fill out our ballots for you guys this episode. That's coming up. So yeah, let's get into it right now. Wimbledon is down to two people left out of 128 for both the men and women's side. For the men, it is Novak Djokovic, who is going to be playing in his 20th major or Grand Slam final against the young Australian who many thought, was going to be one of the best tennis players of all time. However, didn't reach his potential and finally has, at age 27, Nick Kyrgios, reaching his first Grand Slam final. Controversy all around, but he's done it. So Nick Kyrgios versus Novak Djokovic on Sunday. It should be a really good one. I mean, this is what every spectator, this is what Wimbledon wants, maybe, just because Nick Kyrgios is such a fiery guy and Novak Djokovic, himself is such a star.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a highly anticipated match, obviously, because it's the Wimbledon final, but also because of the two characters in it. Pretty polarizing in their own right.
Mm-hmm.
Novak Djokovic, loved by many, hated by many. And then Kyrgios has been, surrounded by a lot of controversy recently, both on and off the tennis court. So, yeah, I think it's just a really exciting matchup. If you had to make a prediction, would you go Djokovic, or do you think you like the upset here?
I like Djokovic in 5 sets. I don't think it will be easy at all. Kyrgios is, in my opinion, second best grass player in the world, probably after Djokovic. He's been unreal on grass. This guy plays the court season, the hard court season, then skips the entire clay season just to train for grass. He can't stand the clay, can't stand the French Open. Then he trains for grass, and his serve is just unreal. He's one of the best servers in the world right now. He's a unique player. We really haven't seen anyone like him. He's been one of my favorite players for a while just because he's so fun to watch with the underhand serves, with the trick shots. He's what tennis needs. Someone that, a lot of my friends hate tennis. They don't watch any of it, but they watch it because Nick Kyrgios, he's good for the sport, in my opinion. So,
he's like
he's
like the Tatis of tennis a little bit.
Right.
More like the Queen.
Tennis is even more like gentleman strict.
Right. Yeah, that underhand serve was sick. So yeah, I also have Djokovic. I was up early this morning. I saw the game on a little bit, or the match on. Cameron Norrie went up in the first set, but then Djokovic won the next 3. So that was that. But
and then there was no semifinal. Kyrgios beat the Chilean Christian Garin and got straight into the final because Rafael Nadal withdrew due to a torn abdominal. And this was a little bit of a shock for people because Nadal is 17-0 in 2022 in majors right now. He was trying to win the Grand Slam. Hasn't been done in a long time. He was trying to win that Grand Slam after he already won the French and the Australian. So obviously it was a big injury if he's withdrawing when he had a chance to win Wimbledon. He beat the American Taylor Fritz, who did really well, made 5 sets, made it all the way to a tiebreaker against Nadal. You got to feel for him a little bit just because no one ended up playing Kyrgios. I know he would be the first to tell you he didn't deserve it since he lost, but still, it's just an unfortunate situation.
Yeah, super unfortunate. We missed out on a great match, but it is what it is, and we have another great match upcoming.
Yeah, and applause to Taylor Fritz. No American has won a major since, I believe, Andy Roddick. It's been a CO Sports trivia question, but Andy Roddick in the 2001 U.S. Open. But I think that's the closest a Wimbledon person's been in a while. Well, John Isner made the semis, but Fritz almost beat Nadal. So really good Admiral. I think he'll be the first one to win a major American.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Kyrgios versus Djokovic should be one for the ages. It's been a really solid Wimbledon so far. Oh, and then in the women's side, we have the first African-born woman to make the final in Ons Jabeur. making the final, and she beat Tatiana Maria, the German, and she'll play a Kazakhstani by the name of Elena Rybakina. So it's like a woman from Kazakhstan versus a woman from Tunisia. So both are great for both of those nations, as they're going to get a Wimbledon winner.
Yeah. Shout out Tunisia.
Right. So a question I have is, what's your thoughts on Rafael Nadal withdrawing? He obviously could have got his third Grand Slam, so it must have been a really big injury.
Well, I think, if you have a tear in your abdominal area, it must be a pretty big injury. And what he said yesterday was that he couldn't finish 2 more matches. And so the announcers were thinking if it was a final, he would have pushed himself through. I don't know if that's true or not, and I think we'll never know the truth. But he did say he couldn't finish 2 more matches, not 1 more. So I don't know, but I think I'm really happy he withdrew, because the next 2 matches would have been really, really hard, and he needs to not have a tear in his stomach. He's about to have a baby.
Yeah, and he said that he probably would have been out for the next 3 months if he had played that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and then do you think Djokovic? I know you're not the biggest Djokovic fan, but do you think he's going to take the final?
Do I think Djokovic will win the final? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think he will, but I'm really going to root for Kyrgios.
Yeah.
Djokovic is not my favorite player.
I'm curious what your thought on Nick Kyrgios is, because he's definitely not he's the most unique tennis player out there. I mean, he's very different than your average tennis player.
And normally I would never root for him. He's so crazy and does so many bad things, but I don't want Novak to win, so I'm going to root for Nick.
All right, so you don't like either of them.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't dislike Kyrgios. I just think he's a little out of control and probably has some problems of some kind. But Djokovic just isn't one of my favorites. It's not that I don't like him.
Yeah.
There's nothing he does bad except not get vaccinated,
All right.
All right. Thanks, Grandma.
Tennis Insider.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So there you have Tennis Insider, Oliver's grandma. She knows all about tennis. So if you ever have a question, ask her. And I'm excited for Sunday to watch Kyrgios versus Djokovic.
Indeed.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Let's do it.
All right, now we're going to fill out All-Star ballots. And you're about to see it on your screen.
All right. So here are the NL. Well, it's already been decided. We don't know it. It hasn't been released, but we can't vote. The voting closed. But we'll just say who we think deserves it. I'm pretty sure on who I want. And I don't think it's that hard. I think each has a pretty clear choice besides a few of them. So let's start with the NL. It's Paul Goldschmidt. He's the NL MVP right now for sure. He still has over 1,000 OPS, and he's hitting 340, and it's just ridiculous. It's Paul Goldschmidt, although Pete Alonso has good home run numbers. Second base, the Braves just showed out, dude. They are really good voters because they're everywhere. They're at catcher, outfield, DH, shortstop, second base. That Braves country is strong. And we'll get to about Toronto because fan voting, first of all, fan voting's got to go. It's so biased. It's whoever has the most fans pretty much gets their player in. Why is Adam Duvall there? He's been so bad this year, but it doesn't. Besides the point, second base is Jazz Chisholm to me. He's probably been the best NL second baseman this year. He's been pretty good, and better than Ozzie. Yeah, so I got Jazz. Third base is Manny Machado, although Nolan Arenado has been pretty good. Manny's had an MVP caliber year. Probably second in voting, I would say. Shortstop's the hardest for me. I personally would go Dansby Swanson, but I know since Trey Turner is flashy and he's on the Dodgers, he will probably be the vote. But Dansby is pretty much has better numbers, everything but average, and it's very close there. Catcher, pretty easy to me. Wilson Contreras, don't need to say much. He's far and away better than Travis d'Arnaud, especially this year. Outfield, since Acuna was an auto bid, you choose 2 of these. Jock Peterson is 1. For me, he's hitting for high average, power, OPS. Every stat is good. And the other outfield spot, I'll go to Mookie Betts. Although he's slowed down recently, he had a crazy hot stretch there, and he's starting to pick it back up. I think he hit a homer 2 nights ago or something. DH is tough because it would be Bryce Harper easily, but he's injured. So I think Bryce Harper's going to get the starter and then be replaced probably by William Contreras. So I think it doesn't even matter who you pick. It's probably going to be William Contreras. But Bryce Harper's definitely been better this year when he's played. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have all similar picks to you. Definitely Goldschmidt over Alonso. Goldschmidt's kind of, that guy ages like fine wine at this point. It's ridiculous. He was a killer on the D-backs, and he's
Giants killer.
Yeah. I like Chisholm over Albies. Yeah. Then at third base, that's a tough one. Machado's been really good this year, along with Arenado. I would go Manny Machado. Shortstop, Trey Turner, as you said, will win. Dansby Swanson, though, out of nowhere, has been putting up numbers. I mean, there was talks that he was a bust a few years ago since he was the first overall pick. We weren't really sure about him. He's definitely an all-star this year, and he's killing it. Travis d'Arnaud, I mean, Atlanta really has good voters because I think Wilson Contreras is definitely the guy over him. And then at outfield, I think that Jock and Mookie will get it. And Mookie has been hurt, right? I mean, I don't even know why he's.
No, he just struggled, but he's fine.
So why is he on here?
What do you mean?
Did
No,
he
like
struggle?
he struggled for like a little bit, but he's been overall really good.
Okay. Well, I guess Jock and Starling. And then lastly, DH Bryce Harper. Because, yeah, that would be cool though if there's two Contreras starters.
More no-brainers in the NL. Again, sucks for Dansby, but other than that, I think it's fine. And then AL is when I really have a problem with fan voting because the Blue Jays have all of Canada, so they pretty much have a player everywhere. Like, why is Santiago Espinal here? Like, it's annoying. Ty France has been better than Vlad Guerrero Jr. this year, but since Vlad Guerrero Jr. is Vlad Guerrero Jr., he will win, and I think he's winning. I think he's getting 2/3 of the vote. So your starter will be Vlad Jr. My vote goes to Ty France. Personally, he's pretty much better in every category besides home runs. Second base, Altuve, pretty easy. It should be Andres Jimenez from the Guardians. Been better than both of these guys, arguably. Maybe not better than Altuve. Definitely better than Espinal, but it is Altuve for me. You asked me this a few weeks ago. Easy Jose Ramirez. But Rafael Devers has caught up to him and passed him in pretty much every stat, and he's still hitting for super high average. I know average is not a stat many people use right now, but higher OPS. I think his OPS is almost 1,000. Better home run numbers. I think he's close in RBIs. And here, Bo Bichette, has not been that good this year. So Tim Anderson just hasn't played that much because he was injured for the first part of the year. He's my starter for shortstop, but I think I don't really know who should be, but I think Jeremy Pena from the Astros has been better.
Where's Aaron Judge?
Aaron Judge was an auto bid. He got the most votes.
Okay, yeah.
I'd say even Carlos Correa has been better. Catcher Kirk. This is actually the one time I think a Blue Jays should be in, and that's Alejandro Kirk over Jose Trevino. I think they've both been pretty good, but Kirk's been one of the best catchers in the league this year, along with Wilson Contreras. So I think that works perfectly. Outfield is Mike Trout for sure, and I really don't like any of these other options. Like Lourdes Gurriel being here is just a joke because of the Blue Jays voted him in. George Springer hasn't been that good. Giancarlo Stanton, I'd guess, would be my second vote, but he hasn't been too impressive. And DH is what's really pissing me off because Shohei, if you're looking at purely at a DH standpoint, Jordan has been the best DH in the league by far, and probably in these numbers wise, the best hitter in baseball this year. I know you look at Aaron Judge's home run total and say, oh, Aaron Judge. No, it's been Jordan Alvarez this year. The dude is on a tear. He's unreal. And he should be DH, but since Shohei Ohtani is insane in his own right, he's winning because he also pitches. But this is Shohei Ohtani should make it as a pitcher this year because he's been crazy on the mound. But as a DH, it should be Jordan Alvarez starting. I know he probably won't, but that's a shame.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
At first base, I do like Ty France because he has better stats. However, I mean, there's also a guy on the Twins by the name is Luis Araves,
Yeah, Luis
Arias, who has
Arias
4 home runs only, but he's batting 354. He's leading the league in average. It's not like he's like a Donovan Solano, like kind of fraudulent either. Like he also is up there with hits. He's fourth in the MLB in hits. So I think he should be getting some votes too.
and he's highest by far in on base percentage too. He walks.
Yeah, so why is he not in here? But whatever. Second base,
flashy.
Altuve over Espinal. Altuve, I know the whole cheating stuff, blah, blah, blah. He's still a really good player. People don't give him enough credit. I'll be seeing him tomorrow at the Oakland Coliseum. Third base, I like Rafael Devers. I think J-Ram is a good player, has 63 runs batted in. However, most hits in the league right now, Rafael Devers, 106. And that's a close one. They both should be all-stars, of course. Bo Bichette versus Tim Anderson. I like Tim Andy. Blue Jays fans, they are really loyal. They did a great job.
They're really good.
And then catcher Alejandro Kirk came out of nowhere. Yeah, and then skip to DH before I go to outfield. Jordan Alvarez, he's been killing it also. Third in the league in home runs, by the way, 26. So I definitely have him, no brainer. Shohei's a great pitcher, though. And then outfield, Mike Trout's a no-brainer. The other two are hard. Just an NL player. I don't know why he wasn't on there either. Kyle Schwarber. I know he has a bad average, but he has 27 home runs this year. So I think Kyle Schwarber should be an all-star. But I'll go with.
I think he'll make as a reserve for sure.
Yeah, Schwarber just finds a way to produce where. But I'll go Springer as a second. But yeah, there's our all-star.
I think fan voting's dumb, but I think they only vote for the starters though. We only vote for the starters, so. The reserves will be actually guys who deserve it. And I don't think it really matters because they rotate anyway who starts.
Crazy news in college football realignment. I mean, it's just wild. I'll throw up the picture right now of what these conferences are rumored to be like. But UCLA and USC to the Big Ten in 2024, just crazy. I mean, geographically, this makes no sense. But at the end of the day, it's all about, money and the TV stations and getting that money, and college football supplies all the money. I feel bad for the athletes that aren't football players. I mean, people forget there's still like almost so many athletes, student athletes, UCLA female men tennis players, swimmers that are going to have to go all the way to Rutgers for these tennis matches when they could just be playing Arizona State, Oregon, like it's all just about football and revenue. But Lincoln Riley definitely left Oklahoma to escape from these hard conferences to go to the Pac-12, and now he has to go to the Big Ten. So that's shocking. And the Pac-12 looks to be done as Oregon and UW want to get into the Big Ten. Some other schools are rumored to the Big 12. Cal was even rumored to the ACC. Like, it's crazy right now. I don't know what's going on. It all started with Oklahoma and Texas going to the SEC, but yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. I guess, I don't know. The people are going to go to those games. The TV money's better. I mean, it's all a money grab at the end of the day, but yeah, it kind of sucks. I'm not a huge college fan, so I'm not like too upset. Like I think it's annoying, but I'm not like too upset. But I think it's kind of stupid personally.
Yeah, it's quite interesting how it works. It's all for money, though. Yeah, it all kind of started from NIL deals, getting money. Well, that's a different story, but I mean, Jaden Rashada, if you follow our Instagram, there's a number one recruit in our grade in the Bay Area, QB. He's going to Miami. He's getting paid like $9 million a year in NIL. In high school. It's crazy. And then Tennessee QB Nico. Dante Moore today, another top QB in 2023, committed to Oregon. Mays committed to Kansas State. So all the guys our grade are committing now. It's interesting to see.
Guys, I think free agency, one of my favorite times of the year, has gone underway. Kind of disappointing so far. No huge moves. I mean, we had a few all-stars, or one all-star, I guess. Rudy Gobert gets traded for a jumbo package from the Jazz to the Timberwolves. Timberwolves gave back Patrick Beverly, Jared Vanderbilt, and a bunch of picks. I think there's one other player too, but I'm blanking on who it is. And then, that alone boosted KD's trade value. And if you don't know, you probably do, but KD has requested a trade. Has not been traded yet. Requested it probably a week ago, maybe more. And has not been traded, and I think the asking price is just too high for him because obviously people would make that trade. But the thing is, or I don't know if they would, but KD wants to go to a contending team. He wants to win another championship. But in order to be a contending team, you can't trade away your stars. So teams want let's say like you're the Timberwolves and they're trying to trade him to the Timberwolves, and they want Cat and Anthony Edwards back. That takes the Timberwolves out of contention. So then KD's not on a winning team and no one's happy. Only the Nets are happy, I guess, but they just lost a superstar. So who knows? It's just a weird situation. I don't know if he's going to get traded, actually. I'm starting to question. I think he's going to be a Net at the end of this summer, but that's my prediction. Damian Lillard, as we're speaking, just signed a 2-year max extension with the Blazers. A lot of guys just returning. And then Warriors news, Kevon Looney re-signed. Gary Payton II signed with the Trailblazers as well. Otto Porter signed with the Toronto Raptors, who I think if Kevin Durant gets traded, I think it will be to the Raptors personally.
Really? Yeah, I had my thoughts on the Warriors, but I disagree with them. I don't think they're going to win again, just due to the fact that they got rid of their 2 biggest role players, and they're deciding to side with the young guys who really did nothing all playoffs. And I understand why. You can't get rid of your 3 young draft picks that you just drafted. I mean, one of them is like 19, but it's just risky due to the fact that those 3 really didn't do much compared to these 2, guys that did tons of stuff. So they're going to have to really put a lot of faith in Moody and Kuminga and Wiseman to step up. If they don't, they're not going to be able to find key guys.
Yeah, we need a vet on the bench. I calculated the average age of their 5 bench players pool. DiVincenzo, who we just signed.
Those are right.
Which is a good signing. Moody, Kuminga, and Wiseman. Average age of 21.6. That is way too young to win a championship. It bodes well for our future. At least the starting lineup's still there, which is a good sign. But yeah, a veteran needs to be added. TJ Warren signed with the Nets, so I wanted him. Yeah, a lot of just small moves. Malik Monk, Kings. A lot of just small moves. Kevin Huerter got traded to the Kings. A lot of random stuff. But yeah, nothing huge yet besides the Gobert trade. So yeah. That's all I got right now. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry, this pretty much bled into the next week. It's Friday, but we will get this out today as we're filming this. So, yeah. Peace. Thank you for watching.
Sounds good. See you in a few days.